Okay,
All
you
right,
guys,
so for our first set of notes,
what we're going to be doing is we're going to be folding our paper. I'm going to draw the piece of paper. And we're going to fold it into two main sections. The left-hand side is going to be the small piece, the right-hand side, the bigger piece. So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and fold your paper so that the left-hand side is smaller, the right-hand side is bigger. And we're basically going to have a few sections for this first piece, okay? And so we will talk about that in a minute as soon as you're done folding. We're going to have the essential question, we're going to have some vocabulary, and then we're going to have a section where you can put some examples. So I'm going to go ahead and finish drawing this, I'm sorry, so that it looks like your piece of paper. Okay, so this is what it looks like in whole. Obviously yours is going to look better because mine's crooked. But let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to have the essential question, vocabulary, and then we will have some examples. The vocabulary is really, 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 really important this time. Okay, so I'm just going to, you can either fold your paper or you can just draw some sections. It's totally up to you. So this is where my essential question is going to go, is in this section. Okay, I'm going to leave a good part of it for vocabulary, and you'll see why. And again, you can fold it or you can draw lines. Even if you want to draw really light lines just in case you have to move them, which I completely understand. All right, so in order to set this up, the first thing you're going to do is at the top of your paper, you're going to put learning target number 1. So go ahead and write that. Learning target number 1. And our learning target number 1 asks us to write equations, so expressions, I'm sorry, writing expressions. So you're going to go ahead and put that at the top of your paper, writing expressions. So that is your title. Do not forget, do not lose these notes. You are going to need them for the next few weeks, okay? Because learning target 1 and 2 are going to be on the same sheet, one on the front, one on the back, okay? So the first thing we're going to write here is our essential question. Essential question. That looks horrible. Okay, so we're going to put essential question here. That's the first thing. That is our goal. What is our goal? Okay. And the second thing you're going to put in the second section is vocab or vocabulary. Okay, vocab. So far we have essential question, we have vocabulary, and the last piece is writing expressions. Okay. Writing, oops, I'm gonna have to do that a little bit smaller so we can fit it. So I'm just going to put writing expressions like that. Okay, just to shorten it a little bit since we don't have a lot of room. So far you should have your learning target, number 1, writing expressions. That's our goal. Okay, we're gonna have some vocab, and then we're gonna have some writing expressions we're actually going to practice. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. So this next section, that middle section, I'm going to break it up into 4 pieces, and I'm going to put adding, subtracting, multiplying, which is a dot, and dividing. Now that you are in upper level, you don't really use that X anymore for multiplying. Now it's a dot or an asterisk, and I'll show you some of those things. But we're going to be using that when we work on these words and on these expressions, okay? So now you have a basic setup, and I told you on your assignment that you were going to have 2 numbers written down on the bottom, so I will tell you what those are in just a minute. And it really is specifically just for our escape room. They really don't mean anything. But before we do that, let's go ahead and write our essential question. what is it that we are trying to answer? Well, that's pretty simple. How, okay, go ahead and write how do I create an expression, okay? In fact, let's not put create. Let's say, how do I write? So we can stick with our learning target. How do I write an expression when given a phrase? And that'll make more sense when we start talking about it. So how do I write an expression when given a phrase? Okay. So make sure you have all of this on your paper. This should take up your whole entire paper. And for those of you that are working on the escape room, which might not be all of you, but for some of you that are working on the escape room, you are going to need 2 numbers. And these numbers will be important because it's going to ask you for the sum of them. So I'm going to write these 2 numbers down. You don't actually have to write them on your paper, but you're going to need those 2 numbers to add together in order to go into the next part of the escape room. So make sure you have your notes ready so that when we begin, you're already set to go.